Good afternoon, Saskatchewan, and good afternoon, all Canadians. My name is Eldon Oakney, representing Thunderchild First Nation, Chief of Wasis. Also, Grand Chief of the Federation of Saskatchewan Indian Nations, Chief Lone Child, also sends his greetings on behalf of all the First Nations of Saskatchewan. Parliament is AWOL, absent without leave. We need Parliament to be sitting. This situation is going to affect the First Peoples of this great land. And we're going to ask all Canadians to support us in this endeavor. We cannot wait till March the 3rd. We need Parliament working again. This is a democracy. As First Nations people, we had democracies. With this proroguing of Parliament, it's going to affect and cause confusion and also chaos for the First Nations people of this country. It's going to affect what we call Indian status. It's also possibly going to affect the program funding that we get from the feds. And we can't let that happen. I have a prepared statement here that I'd like to state what our issue is. There was a recent court decision that came out of British Columbia from the BC Court of Appeal that affects our status. And I'm going to read. It says, the recent decision by the Prime Minister is going to lead to chaos and confusion amongst the treaty peoples, the First Peoples of this land. On April the 6th, 2009, the British Columbia Court of Appeal struck down 2 sections of the Indian Act. The 2 sections relate to the registration of Indians under Section 61A and Section 61C. The judges suspended the application of the judgment for 1 year to allow Parliament to amend the Indian Act. The decision will take effect on the 7th of April, which is coming up very quickly. From the date of the judgment, we have been concerned about the decision and its potential effect on our rights. On 2 separate occasions, ladies and gentlemen, we have questioned Indian Affairs Minister Chuck Strahl about the government's plan to introduce amendments to the Indian Act into line with the decision of the British Columbia Court of Appeal. My friends, he never responded to us by showing us any proposed changes. There was an indication that those amendments would have been introduced in late January, so we know that's not going to happen. There are no amendments being introduced with Parliament being away until March the 3rd, 2010. When Parliament opens on March the 3rd, we have less than a month to have changes introduced, amended, and passed through 2 houses of Parliament before the beginning of April. On the 7th of April, we will be in legal limbo, brought about by the suspension of Parliament. This is going to affect every treaty family. We are a people being left in the dark. As treaty people, our treaty pay lists were converted to status lists in September 1951. We never consented to the change in our constitutionally protected rights. As treaty peoples, our citizenship was not imposed, it was recognized by the making of treaty. When the court struck down the whole sections of the Indian Act, we are concerned. We never wanted piecemeal amendments to this discriminatory act. We want our treaties to be implemented in good faith by the state of Canada. We want an orderly process. My friends, everyone benefits from the treaty. Non-Indian people live in our territories because of the peace and friendship treaties. Without Parliament addressing the issue raised by the decision of the Court of Appeal in British Columbia, it is going to cause chaos and confusion amongst our people, like I said before. The decision deals with status. We are not talking about membership. It is the status component of the Indian Act, my friends, that has been used by Canada to diminish our rights under treaty. In order to address this issue, we propose the following. Please listen carefully, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're asking the Minister and Cabinet to direct. And we have these notes here we can distribute, but I want to, if you have them, please turn to them and open to them. We direct the Register of Indians to do the following. Number 1, Indian status would be analogous to registration on a general treaty list as people who are constitutionally recognized as Indians for the treaty obligations as administered at this time through programs and services for Indians, while band membership would be analogous to registration on a general treaty list. The Cabinet Order, number 2, would preserve the treaty status of the members, and the overall special relationship with the Crown would continue. And last of all, my friends, number 3, we would further propose that there be a special parliamentary committee struck to deal with the issue of our constitutionally protected rights and the implementation of treaty obligations. So I stand before you this afternoon asking all Canadians to support the first peoples of this great country we now call Canada. We live in a democracy. Let's get the parliamentarians back to work. Let's not stand for this in a great country like Canada. So let's all join in, and let's let our message be heard not only in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, but all of Canada. Hi, hi, my friends. Thank you for listening. Hi, hi.